Okay, so I have a couple of videos to show you guys. So recently we've been dealing with a immigrant crisis. They call it a migrant crisis, but people are utterly flooding over our border illegally, and when they get here, they are act as our enemy, our adversary. They have no respect for American culture. They have no respect for the native people of this land. We've been here for 500 years, so that makes us native. These people come over here in by the millions, don't bother processing themselves as legal citizens, but instead they come here as illegals. These are criminals. These are invaders. These are terrorists coming over here because they commit crime. And yeah, there's just hundreds of thousands of migrant crimes. So here we have something of a immigrant that has killed somebody or committed a crime, whatever this is. And this just shows how disrespectful they are towards foundational Black Americans. So I'm going to play this video.
Now this kangaroo court is giving me a life sentence for me trying to protect and defend myself against the attack from three guys. In essence, treating me like a black man.
You almost killed an innocent motorist.
No, it didn't happen that way.
You cut off. The evidence showed, Mr.
There was no
Char.
evidence on my part. My
Mr.
lawyer
Char.
failed. Treating me like a black man, so today I'm going to be a black man.
So I know it's hard to see in this tiny screen, but essentially this immigrant, this freshly installed immigrant is dressed in literal blackface and saying, "Whoa, why are you treating me like a black man, Judge? You know I'm an immigrant, so you're supposed to treat me better than the native black population." That is their mindset. That is their mindset when they come over this country and just overrun our cities, overrun our neighborhoods, install their stores, while at the same time not shopping at any of our stores, keeping their money in their own pockets, in their own community, while expecting foundational Black Americans to shop at their stores, at their businesses, support their politicians, support their political policies, such as mass immigration. This is their mindset. They don't respect you. They don't like you. They hate you. When they come to this country, they are told, don't hang out with the black people. Don't be friends with the black people. Oh, you should hate those black people. They're criminals, they're scums, they're yada, 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 yada. All this negative attribution towards us when we are the ones that fought for their right to flee their shithole third world country that failed in every way possible. And this is how they treat us. And now the push, and these people should be worrying right now, trying to play damage control because they utterly destroyed their reputation. Black people are waking up. We're waking up. Because now the pushback is going to be apocalyptic to all this immigration. So first, black people are like, okay, they're just looking for a better life. But now we see what is really going on. So I'm going to go to the next video. So here we have immigrants that, again, are breaking the law, are committing crimes, not working. Where's all these hard-working immigrants I keep hearing about? So we have immigrants just standing around in a black community, selling drugs, Most importantly, it's fentanyl. So they're killing American people. They're selling fentanyl. They're selling drugs, getting your child addicted to this substance that can kill you on contact. They have no business, no right to come into this country. And the fact that our leadership is allowing this is treasonous. It's treasonous. There's no other word to describe what has been going on for the last couple of years. Okay, and it's been happening longer than that. But at least ICE put on a show that they were at least deporting illegals. They don't even deport illegals. Okay, this is ridiculous. So we're gonna play this video.
¿Dónde son? ¿Venezuela?
No, en México.
¿En México?
Sí.
Oh. ¿Te habla inglés?
No.
Okay. So, Terry, you were filming the license plate. What happened?
Yeah, they told me not to film. You?
No.
Now listen to that. He said they told him not to film. In a free country, these people want to be in a free country so freaking bad. But when they get to this free country, they want to tell other people what to do. They want to use mob rule. They want to tell people, you can't say that. Oh, you can't record that. You can't do that. You can't go here, using cartel tactics. And the cartel is already infiltrating America. If you don't, there's cartels in every single major city. Why? Because of illegal immigration. They are trying to turn America into a third world country, a banana republic with no rule of law, no rights, no nothing. This is what they do. You import the third world, you get the third world. And why anybody thinks any differently is just beyond my comprehension.
Well, no problem. You? What's wrong? Say what?
Flicking him off. These are hard work, quote unquote, hard working immigrants. We keep importing. They just want a better life. Blah, 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 blah. All these little excuses for their terrible behavior. Like, come on, dude. Deport them. Why are they not being deported? Again, they have zero right to be here. They are foreign, illegal nationals. And they come here, commit crimes. Not all, I'm not saying all of them commit crimes, but a lot of them, to the point where it's a genuine risk to the public, where it's a genuine risk to the communities that they illegally come to.
Soy reportero. It's America. It's America. It's a free country, guys. It's a free country. We can film in America. So this is interesting. So they don't want you filming their stuff in America. They're here illegally. ¿Habla inglés? No? No? Mexico or Venezuela?
They don't even speak the native language. Okay, America is an English country. Okay, that's all. 90% of Americans speak English. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to speak Spanish or French, whatever you speak, but you're delusional if you don't think America is an English country. Turn on the TV, it's in English. Everything is in English. Our culture, English. Our music, English. Everything is in English. Okay? Now, it might have been the case like 100 years ago. You could say, oh, there's no official language. But now, it's obvious. English is the official language. Now, I'm not saying it should be illegal to speak a foreign language. Obviously not. You know, there's legal immigrants that come here and speak their native tongue. And I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who illegally sneak into this country, have no right to be here, refuse to learn English, refuse to learn anything about the native country they snuck into, and then disrespect anybody who speaks English, who speaks the predominant language of this land. Now, he has nothing to say. You think this guy is going to be a productive member of society when he can't even speak the freaking language? What is the only thing he's going to be qualified in? Being a drug dealer, selling fentanyl, drive-bys, hits, working for the cartel. Those are the only things he's going to be able to do. Why? Because he can't branch out on his options. He doesn't have he doesn't have citizenship. He doesn't know anybody in the native land except other illegal immigrants. He's not going to be able to get a real job. So why is he here? Oh, this is insane. This is insane.
Huh? Okay, Venezuela or Mexico? No? Okay. So they were selling drugs out here, doing drugs out here. This is the America. This is the America the Democrats want. There you go. There you go.
I told you.
Hey, all right.
Hey.
All right, say it again. Again. That's what they think of you, America. That's what they think of you. F you. That's what they think of you. No? Come on, be proud of it. Are we buying drugs? We selling drugs? There we go. You got the buyers and the sellers?
There we go.
Now, I'm assuming this guy is an actual American citizenship. He's rather young, and this could be your son. This could be your daughter. America. And they're just selling him drugs. Don't check for IDs. Obviously, they're not checking for IDs. They're not doing background checks on who they sell their drugs to. Hey, a random 6-year-old comes up to them and says, hey, I want to buy fentanyl. They could just give them fentanyl. They let them do what they want. But actual legal citizens have to go through all these background checks, all this bureaucracy just to open up a business, just to open up a store. Especially black people, we gotta go through so much bureaucracy, so many background checks, so much paperwork just to open a lemonade stand. But these illegals, the police just roll right past them. They don't interrogate these people. They don't question these people on what they're doing. They allow them to be propped up and given special rights over the native population. That is what they do because they're trying to make these people like the Democratic Party, like the establishment elite. So they'll be loyal. They're quite literally buying their loyalty. So once they are inevitably given citizenship or allowed to vote, they of course are going to vote Democrat. Of course they're going to vote in the two-party system. Of course they're going to vote for mainstream candidates because they're like, wow, these Democrats let me into the country. They gave me free credit cards. They gave me free housing. Oh, if I keep voting for them, then I'm going to keep getting free stuff. That is and it's obvious. It's obvious. And it's also about replacing the Native American population. If your ancestors have been here for hundreds of years, that makes you a native. Don't let them fool you. You have just as much to lose as the Native Americans of 500, 600 years ago. Because that is what they're trying to take from you. They're trying to take your culture. They're trying to take your heritage. They're trying to take everything that makes this country still great.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the America Democrats want. It's all illegal. You got now the drug dealers out here. They don't want to be on camera, of course. They don't want their license plate on camera, of course. They flip us off, of course.
Yeah.
It's that's what you're inviting in. You're inviting in the criminal element from third world countries. What do you think is going to happen, guys? It's not going to be good. They're telling American citizens not to film after they invaded our country, and they're selling drugs on the streets of America. That's Democrats' America right there. That's Joe Biden's America right there. So, Pastor, you're here watching this. These guys over here, what you said they're
throwing gang signs up, man, as if they own the country. But, you know, just like I'm sitting here, we not worried about that, okay? We just gonna deal with what we got to. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm gonna make sure that you're all right and that we're okay as well.
Yeah, that's it. American people got to rise up.
Man, we got to get Trump in 2024. This unquestioned.
Now, obviously, this guy's saying Trump 2024. I don't think Trump is the solution. He had 4 years to do it. Now, obviously, Trump is infinitely better than Biden. Biden is senile. He's incompetent. He's clearly being puppeteered by behind the scenes. So vote for Trump. You will temporarily stop the problem. But within 4 years, another Democrat saying, oh, we can't let a Republican get into office because the Republicans, they'll do this, they'll do that. And then people will vote for the Democrat. And then the next 4 years, people will, and left, right, when both of these parties are controlled by the same exact people.
Questionably, this all the Democratic Party stuff, man. This is what they brought our country to, and we gotta stop it. As soon as Trump get in, it needs to be a mass deportation, and watch them head for the border.
Do you seriously think Trump is going to do a mass deportation? If he was going to do a mass deportation, he would have done that from 2016 to 2020. He would have done a mass deportation, which we've had like over 20 million illegal immigrants living in this country for the last 20 years, and nobody's deporting them. And it would actually take a strong, capable president to do that. One that is articulate, one that knows what he is doing. Okay, now Trump, say what you will, he's going to, at least he says he's going to deport. But does anybody actually think he's going to deport 20 million? Obviously not. It's up to the American people, instead of looking to a figure every 4 years to save us. We need to start putting pressure on these politicians. Going to the voting booth is not enough. Keeping up, turning on the TV and watching the news is not enough. Being passive is not enough. Go to your city council meetings. Be active. Be involved. Okay, a lot of these people just watch these illegal immigrants flood over their border. Oh, I just gotta wait 4 years, then I can vote for Trump, and then he'll fix the problem. Meanwhile, they're doing nothing over that 4-year span. Okay, do you think this can be fixed in 4 years? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million illegal immigrants, and the number's going to get higher and higher with every passing day. At some point, it could be as high as 100 million. Okay, 100. Imagine 100 million people flooding into our country, flooding over our borders. At a certain point, it will just be impossible to stop. Okay, there's no urgency from these people. They're like, they're selling drugs, they're doing this one. But there's really no urgency from these people. Should be outraged that these illegal immigrants are flooding into predominantly black communities. Chicago, New York, all of these different communities just being bombarded by these foreign illegals. Okay? Go to any black community. There's illegals. They're not going into white communities. Do you think they're going into the suburbs? They're dropping these illegals off into the suburbs? Of course not. Of course not. They're not going to drop them off there. They're going to drop them off in the black community because they know the police won't care, because the police in black communities are indifferent. They're indifferent. They don't care if there's like 100 or so illegals just sitting on the sidewalk selling drugs. They don't care. They're indifferent.
That's it. Yep. This guy, one of the guys in there, getting in there.
So they went in there.
We're dealing with gang members. We're dealing with thugs from other.
So you get the point of that video. So here we have a horde of illegals overrunning the National Guard. If you don't think this is an invasion, nothing is. Now, so our National Guard is just there. They're not actually stopping these people. If you think the National Guard is actually stopping these people from coming over, you're just insane, because they're just letting them run right past them. Look at this. That's at least 100 people just running right past the quote-unquote most greatest military force in the entire world. We're the greatest military in the world, and we can't even protect our own freaking border. So it's like something you'd see out of the movie World War Z. Look at this. Now they're going to do anything. The video stopped working, but they're going to do anything to get over the border. They're going to dig tunnels. They're going to climb over the fence. If you don't stop the incentive of them coming over here, then they will keep coming over here indefinitely. Indefinitely. They'll never stop. You give them free food, you give them free housing, you give them free everything, free healthcare, free protection. Then they're going to keep coming over here, because giving everything for free just completely incentivizes. If they didn't get any free stuff, guess what? They wouldn't come over here. They wouldn't come over. They just freeze to death in the streets. They're like, why would I come over here? Well, I'm just going to freeze to death, hungry, starving, homeless. No, they're not going to come over here. But our people in power, our so-called leadership, the aristocracy, the oligarchy of this country, has made it so that there is an incentive for illegal strangers, illegal criminals from failed countries to come here, to overwhelm our infrastructure, to overwhelm our medical system, to overwhelm even our military. And it's just gotten so bad, so bad. If this is not fixed within the next 2 years, America's finished. It's finished. Say goodbye to our culture. Say goodbye to our society, because there's no going back from this. This is exactly how ancient Rome collapsed. And this is exactly how many other empires throughout history collapsed. Incompetent leadership, passive citizenry that just takes a backseat, doesn't actually put pressure on their leaders, and they allow their borders to literally be overrun. So I got one more video.
Steve, we're at one of the over 50 locations where they're holding illegals in Chicago. This is they have over 3,000 people in this warehouse. This is the location where they announced last week that they had a measles outbreak. So we're kind of holding our breath as we're standing here. Last I heard there was 13, but it's probably over 100 now. Who knows? But this is what's happening. I want to bring the guys that we spoke to the last couple of days. We're doing a little tour through the city to make stops along the way to wake up the American people. We're going to talk a little bit about illegals. We're going to talk about the invasion, what's going on there. But we're going to talk about elections too. I just want to kind of go around here. And David, you said something powerful when we first got here about the Tyson Foods and what's going on here.
Yes, the economic war that's on the American people. If we look at what's going on, you have Tyson Food that them fired 1,200 American people to hire 42,000 illegal immigrants. We're in an economic war in today's time. Right now, we look around, this is everyone. Big business has this going on. We have to look at the full system, and that's why I keep saying the system. We look at every day, it is something going on, the injustice against the American people, the economic war against the American people. That's the problem.
Thank you, David. Bob?
No, I just wanted to comment on the Democratic Party, double talking. Chucky Schumer calls for elections, and now they mad because Trump says something about the Jews. So I just tired of the double talking of the Democratic Party.
Sir?
Well, it is unfair to the American people. I think the American people should get the resources, and they don't need the resources. Families been here many years ago, don't have the resources, and homeless people need help. So let's, come together and pull this together, Republican, all the way. Trump 2024.
And we've got everywhere you go, Steve, you've got illegals, the Venezuelans out there using kids as pawns. Mark, I wanted you to mention something on that. We were walking around, what you see throughout the streets.
Well, a lot of the so-called migrants are panhandling with children, which is against the state law. It's child endangerment, and you really can't use a child as a prop to panhandle. And they're doing it at probably a couple thousand locations every day in Chicago. It's outrageous, and children should not be used as props.
And Terry, now getting into elections, so while this is happening, to all the War Room posse out there, while this is happening, they're stealing the elections, and you've got guys, the Republican Party, to me, that's just as bad. Terry?
Yeah, in the western suburbs, we're fighting the establishment, and it looks like many of the Trump MAGA candidates did not win their primaries yesterday. They're not getting support from the Republican Party here in the state of Illinois. One other thing I want to mention is about the handguns. This morning, a judge announced in Chicago that she wants to allow illegals to carry guns. It was just announced a few hours ago, so we need.
So they're going to allow illegals to carry guns. So in many black cities, the citizens are not allowed to carry guns. So go to Democratic cities such as Chicago, such as Detroit, and a whole host of different cities. Just New York. They don't allow their black population to carry guns. They don't allow black law-abiding citizens to carry a weapon. So the Second Amendment exists for everyone but us. Okay, stop and frisk. What was that? Oh, we're going to take away your rights. We're going to take away all your rights. If you carry a weapon, we're going to arrest you. So what really are rights? It seems like rights only exist for a certain group of people in this country. Let's say a black person was carrying a gun in Chicago for self-defense. If he gets stopped by the police, he goes to jail without even committing a crime. Okay? When you have a system where the government is unable to enforce gun control and only enforces it on law-abiding citizens, then of course people are going to use guns or have guns illegally because they have to defend themselves. How do you expect people to defend themselves in these high crime cities without a gun? You can't. And then they have the audacity to say black people can't own a gun, but illegal citizens can, or not even citizens, illegal immigrants can. What is going on? And I saw one article that said illegal immigrants can serve in the military. So they're quite literally setting us up for civil war. Okay, I know people don't want to hear that, but they are quite. Let me stop this video for a second. Yeah, Twitter's tripping. Yeah, they're quite literally setting us up for civil wars, armed conflict. Because if it was just us that was armed, it wouldn't really be a conflict. It would just be us kicking them out of the country. But when they are armed as well, then they set the stage for civil war. This is all in the making. This is all planned. This is all organized, and the people currently in power want to arm the illegals because their true allegiance is towards the people in power, not America. They're going to take over this country in the future. I'm not sure when, but in the nearish future, they are going to literally do what they've been doing in their third world countries, their banana republics, which is do a coup. Okay, you look at all these third world countries, they always have a coup every few years. Like, look at Haiti, they have a coup, like gangs just taking over the government. They're going to try to do that here. And the people they're importing have experience in doing that. So when they arm these people that are from failed countries that have a history of trying to take over the government, of trying to overthrow leadership, of trying to overthrow democratically elected government. You're going to arm these people? You don't know who is who. You didn't even vet them, and you're going to arm them? Come on. So I'm going to play a few more minutes of this video. Then I'm going to wrap up this this video.
Need to look into that as well.
Hang on 1 second. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I want to ask David. Go back and ask David. Does he see the economic war? We know Tyson's and these plants around the country, but has he seen the economic war of corporate America and the elites against working class minorities in the city of Chicago itself?
Yeah, David, he wants to come back to you and ask you the economic war we see with Tyson's Foods, but do you see that in corporate America, across America, not just with them?
Yes, I see that happening across all businesses because American people are demanding a livable wage, and our cost of living has risen. We deserve a livable wage coming.
Said, yes, livable wages are the number one problem, second to immigration. Okay, I'd actually say they're about equal, because if your children can't even afford to live in the country they are born in, that is just untenable. Okay, and black people are the most affected by this, specifically foundational black Americans. We're the most affected by these goddamn prices. These fucking prices that are just through the roof. Okay, people are getting into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt just to go to school. They say, oh, get an education. And then they go get an education. They have to take up hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. Foundational black Americans have the highest rates of student loan debt. And then after we graduate, we got to find a job. And finding a job with a livable wage is like finding a needle in a haystack. What they want is to make us a permanent underclass. And you can't have a permanent underclass when illegals come here with nothing. So of course they got to prop up these illegals. They got to arm them. They got to house them. They got to give them food. Got to give them water. You got to give them a base to stand on. And the fact that they're giving illegals housing for free just shows that they're just, that alone means they're doing better than most foundational black Americans. Okay, because they're giving them all this stuff for free. And most foundational black Americans are struggling. Most Americans in general are struggling, but it mostly affects us because we do the hardest jobs. We work the jobs that nobody else is willing to work. And we get no appreciation for it. So they're doing real well because they could just not work for an indefinite period of time and still have a roof over their head. Meanwhile, foundational Black Americans, we take 1 month off of work and then we get evicted. Okay, we end up homeless. So that's how it works for actual American citizens.
From each corporation, but corporations don't want to pay the American people righteously. So they want to bring in and usher in illegal immigrants to replace American people on these job sites. You could get cheap labor out of them. They will work for pretty much anything coming from the countries that they come from. We as American people, we are overtaxed. We sit here and we demand a livable wage. Our senators, our congressmen, they're getting raises. Why the American people can't get a raise to a corporation? I just believe it is a systemic thing that is going on. Whether it's Democrat, Republican, it is big business that is pushing this through. That's what I believe.
And Steve, I want to make sure we have time to talk about what Pastor Lori saw yesterday at the polling. But go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Ask Pastor. I want to
while
hear
all
from
this
the
is
pastor.
while all this is happening, Pastor Lori, you were out at the polling places yesterday for the Heritage Foundation. Talk to us a little bit about what you found.
Well, what we did was we went out with a team. We went to the north side, the west side, south side, stopped in different polling places. And there were so many violations. We witnessed at 6 o'clock in the morning that it's a Democratic judge that's acting as a Republican judge just for the day. We also witnessed ballots not being out accessible to Republicans. And when we questioned about it, they said, well, you have to ask for it. There were so many other things, like the machines were breaking down, printers were bad. They was calling technicians in the middle of the day to fix the machines. The ballots we got a lady that was trying to put her ballot through. They told her that the machine was broke, and they would put the ballot through later, and they put it in a box. But after they saw us there asking questions, they, made the machine work. So the ground game is going to be important. If there's going to be a fair election, so I understand personally now what happened in Arizona because I'm seeing it right here in Chicago. But if the Republicans don't want to win this election, it's going to have to be the ground game. We have to have people in these places to hold them accountable, because if we don't, another election will be stolen in 2024, and that's what the Democrats are doing, illegal things at the polls to steal, kill votes, or do whatever they have to do to win.
So it's all tied together, Steve. They're bringing in the illegals. They're stealing the elections. It's all tied together.
Yeah. Hang on, Ben. Before I let you go, I want to go back to David one more time. He used the term replacement theory. Ask David. I thought that was a white nationalist, phrase about that, but he's saying it's actually happening against the black community in Chicago.
It's happening to everybody. Okay, don't get it twisted. Not wanting 1 million immigrants coming into your country illegally is not racist.
And the first person who said that was actually Bob Israel. We're talking about that. So Steve just asked, you guys use the term replacement. You guys feel like you're being replaced. Yeah. The mainstream media says that's a white nationalist term. Is that a white nationalist term, or is that happening to everybody? Every American?
I believe that's happening to every American citizen. Black, white, don't matter what nationality that you are. If you are here, you are being replaced by cheap labor. That is what's happening.
I just want to ask these. Chicago's full of rhinos. Please stop funding these Chicago rhinos.
Amen. Tell the guys. By the way, social media, I want to know where everybody can get these folks. Very powerful.
All right, social media. I know, Dave, you don't really have one. Pastor?
TECNTV.com. Let the truth be told. 6 p.m. Central. Also, you can find me at rumble.com. David Lowe 1057.
You get the point, okay? Our country is being invaded. We are losing. If you're a Native American, you are losing. You are losing your buying power. You are losing your power as a worker. Your wages will go down because of all this cheap labor. If you guys remember, a couple of years ago, around 2022, there was a massive worker shortage, okay? Companies were raising their prices. They were so desperate to find new workers, okay? And when it's like that, guess what? Wages go up. They don't pay cents on the dollar to their workers because nobody would take that job. And now wages are going down, wages are decreasing. And guess where this is occurring? This is occurring in foundational Black American communities. The wages are going down now. Why? Because they have all this cheap labor now. Just a few years ago, wages were going up. There was demand for Black labor. Not the case anymore. Okay, so this is just crazy, 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 crazy. But if you guys like the video, like, comment, and subscribe.